Welcome back to the Sporting Eyes YouTube channel and the round 1 review for AFL Supercoach. I just uploaded the AFL Fantasy one, so if you missed that and you want to go check it out, it'll be in the top right hand corner of this video. I had a pretty solid week, 2,169, ranked in the top 15%, so not an outstanding start, but solid enough to build a good base around. So we'll have a look at how the team performed. I'll go through each of the players, and then to finish off we'll go through the most likely trade options and scenarios that I'm looking at right now. This is the exact way the team lined up. So Dacos, I took his 135, was outstanding. Collingwood's best player. He just uses the ball so well, can get contested possessions, handball receives. 120 plus average is definitely not out the question. I'll probably VC him again against St Kilda. Harry Sheezel, outstanding, very similar to Dacos. They look for him all the time, use the ball well, very good. The unique in Jaden Short, I knew it was a risk and probably lost some points here because in another variation of this team, I'd ideally like to have Isaac Heeney. Had a frustrating night. Short was on 55 at halftime after I thought a pretty average first half, and I thought, if he can just get a bit more of the ball, we can get maybe a 110, 120 here, but the role is pretty average, didn't take a lot of kickouts. He's on watch. I'll probably give him one more shot. I could go to a guy like Whitfield, who's still cheaper, so I have a decision to make there. He's on the chopping block, but right now looking like I'm probably going to keep him. Hayden Young had a good game, but I think he had 11 clangers, didn't use the ball well, but watching him in that role, I think there's going to be games where he can get 140 or 150 this year. Big-bodied, well-rounded, and played pretty good through the four quarters. Hopefully he can just fix up his ball use, which I think he will, because that's his biggest weapon in the AFL. Williams is okay, 51, nothing special, but as long as he can make some more money, that's okay. Obviously he'll miss this week with the bye. Blake Howes, slow start, but again 64. He seems pretty safe to field. Zach Reid is a concern going down. Hamstring tightness or something. He's ruled out next week, but he's going to be hard to make money, so I'll be moving him on this week. He's a priority, a must move for me, and I think the same would be if you had Josh Gibcus. Nick Caulfield was okay, pretty quiet. I think he'll keep playing games, and hopefully he can get an 80 or 90, kind of a spike game to get his money up. But at 49, not bad. Nailed the first three midfielders. Bonampelli, pretty solid. Faded in the second half, but seems like as long as he's on the field, he'll get 120. Tom Green, outstanding. Kicked a goal, clearances, 37 touches, just a monster. And Tuke Miller could have gone even higher, could have got a 160 or 170. Bit of a quiet last quarter and gave away a couple free kicks, but he looks to be pretty solid, used the ball really well. Now Nick Martin turned it over a lot, and this is kind of an awkward one. I think a lot of people are going to keep him if you did select him. He's looking likely to go. I think in the fantasy format he's okay, but Supercoach, his break-even's already a bit high, and I'm not sure. Ollie Wines, 94, not bad. Contested possessions, a lot of handballs, but if he can keep these kind of 90 to 110-ish scores most weeks, I think he'll be safe enough to pick. But Matt Crouch, who was 490 again, probably in hindsight a bit better option, but I'm going to stick with Wines in this format for now. McKercher, very good, 88. Roberts, 69, outstanding again. And Sanders, this was a bit annoying, only a 43 in the Supercoach format, got subbed out, but he'll keep playing. I'm happy to stay with him on the field, I think. Wilson and Sharp were really good. Wilson kicked 2 nice goals, and Sharp roamed the wings pretty well. Then we get to Jai Clark, who has to go this week with a 13. Bit annoying, but he won't make any money, so he's a must trade. Gawn, outstanding, and Grundy had a bad game, still got to 71. Bit of a watch on Grundy. Hopefully he can bounce back kind of in these next few weeks. Now the plan in the forward line, this was the risk, obviously. bit of the change in my team. I had no Heeney and Flanders. Both scored well, but Luke Jackson did score 113, so I didn't get that totally wrong. Looked pretty sharp. Kicked a couple goals, so he just had his hit-outs kind of were going to the Freo guys, but they couldn't quite pick it up, so he couldn't get a lot of hit-outs to advantage, but I liked his play, and he had no practice games as well, so this was his first official hit-out for some time, and dropped a couple marks, so I think he'll only improve. Zach Fisher, 50, this was disappointing. Bit of a concern to keep an eye on. Turned it over a bit, and yeah, 50 is not great. So, little worried about him in this format. Fife could not have asked for any more, 103. If he gets 103 each week, that will be huge. Really happy, the role was great. Spent a few minutes forward here and there, but was an inside mid, and played high time on ground. Like, I thought he'd only play maybe 75% time on ground, but I think he was well into the 80s, which is very good, and they beat a good side at Brisbane, so I think that will continue. Jordan, really good 84, goes all day, very good runner, just solid. I think that 80 plus average should be well within reach. Harley Reid was impressive, 78. I like him in the Supercoach format because he can get clearances, contested possession. He only needs kind of 15 to 20 touches of the ball, and throw in maybe if he can kick a goal or two and continue to get clearances. That 78 I think will be a pretty common score. Sexton, 63, he was okay, but hopefully we can get a few kind of bigger scores, maybe in the 90 or 100s, but solid enough. Lazaro was a bit disappointing. 42, had a pretty good first half, but just faded. I think they'll keep playing him, but not as good as I hoped for. And Cadman, this was the opposite to Lazaro, a lot better than I hoped for. He's going to make quite a lot of money, even if he only gets kind of 40 or 50, so very happy with him. So looking at the team, I'll just put Gawn in for now. So this is the setup. Pretty happy with all the rookies on field. But because I left myself with 57,000, I can do some movement. So as of right now, Breed has to go. I will be using a boost. Because it's best 18, I kind of explained this in my AFL fantasy team a bit. I'm not going to chase the premium guys like Heeney and Flanders. I know it's a massive risk. But because we get so many scores, I think 4 scores to drop away, I'm not going to be chasing those guys. It's just a bit of a tactical kind of part of the game. I'm going to try. It could backfire heavily, but we'll see. So Reid will not make any money, so he's out. And Clark won't make any money, he's out. So it leaves me with a few choices for a guy like Short, Martin, or Wines to get rid of at this stage. And I'm going to give Short one more week, I think. And the one I'm going to get rid of is Nick Martin, because a guy who has a pretty similar role to him in Bonner will come in. So if I can sort all this out, I believe he scored 102 or something. Bonner. Here he is. He's only 284,000. He's so cheap. And I think he can match it pretty well with Nick Martin. That's what I'm hoping. So he can come in. Then in defence, the big one, who played kind of on a wing, but he's going to make a lot of money even if he drops 70 or 80 in the next few weeks, is D'Ambrosio. He had a massive game, so he will come in. And then the last one, which I can use, is putting Lazaro in the midfield, and then obviously Dempsey from Geelong, if I can find him, will come in. So that's, if we complete these trades, obviously Williams will go like that. Then Bonner will come in for Lazaro, and I'll probably have Dempsey on the bench. And that leaves me with a lot of money in the bank, just in case next week a guy like Wines, Short, or maybe a Fisher go bust. I have a chance to fix them, but again, this is pretty tactical. Getting a guy like Bonner, it's a little bit of a risk, but you got to think how him and Martin will score together. And I'm pretty confident Bonner in his role will at least match it with Nick Martin pretty well, and it will save me a whole lot of money And in doing that, I can then get rid of Zach Reed, who'll make no money, to D'Ambrosio, who'll make a lot of money. And the same thing with Clark. Get rid of him to Dempsey and he'll make more money. So that's the strategy I'm rolling with. Pretty happy, pretty solid first week. Annoying I have to use a trade boost, but again, I really want to make sure the guys on my bench are making money and being productive like that. So hope you guys all did well. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon.